Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the alternator on this 2002 Chevy Suburban with the V8 5.3 liter engine and the 130 amp alternator. And it's the same part and similar process on these Suburbans from 2000 to 2002. And the items you'll need for this is a new alternator from 1AAuto.com, a 10mm and 15mm socket and ratchet, a flat blade screwdriver, pliers, a pry bar, 8mm wrench, and a hammer. To start off, you want to disconnect your negative battery cable, so use your 8mm wrench and just loosen that up. And then it just pulls free. Set it aside. Next, you want to loosen up this hose clamp right here. And then loosen up the hose clamp right over here. And now you can pull this intake hose forward. And pry this part free. And lift it up. Now, using your pair of pliers, just push that clip and disconnect that lower hose and set this intake set aside. Now, using a 15mm socket and ratchet, put it on the tensioner and just pull the tensioner up and pull that belt off your alternator. And then carefully release the tension on the ratchet. Pry up this tab and disconnect your alternator harness. And then pull back this rubber boot and remove this 10mm nut. And that wire just pulls free. And now remove these two 15mm bolts, and we'll fast forward as Don does that. Using your pry bar, just pry the alternator up and out. And once you do one side, just repeat the process on the other side of the alternator. On the left is the old alternator, on the right is the new one from 1A Auto. You can see they're identical and they're going to fit exactly the same. Put your new alternator down into place and then pry it until you can line up those holes and then push your first bolt in. And the first one's going to be a little more difficult than the second one will be because you're still trying to line everything up. So just use a hammer to help knock that bolt in. And once you get to about this point right here, you're all set. And the second bolt's going to be a lot easier to put in. And now we'll just fast forward as Don tightens those up with the 15mm socket and ratchet. Reconnect the harness to your alternator, put this wire back into place, and replace that 10mm nut. And then put that boot back over it. Again, use your 15mm socket and ratchet on the tensioner, and then pull your belt back up and onto the alternator. Now take this upper intake assembly and push it back down into place and push it back onto the engine. Reclip that lower hose and then reconnect this hose and tighten up those two hose clamps. Now replace your negative battery cable and tighten it up with your 8mm wrench. And you're all set.
We hope this video helps you out. Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.